Four-man rush. Dart. Sidearms one down the sideline. That one is going to be picked. Another miscommunication with Juice Wells. And Bryce Thornton does it again.
I really need to stop putting all my eggs in the Lane Kiffin basket. It has not been going well for me lately. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is OneDubs, and welcome to the College Football Week 13 recap. And yes, I know it is very late. It's literally getting close to Thanksgiving in December, and yeah, it's pretty late in the year. But I decided that I wanted to do this because after watching Week 13, I had no other choice but to make a Week 13 recap. And also, I want to try something different for this channel. So that's why I'm busting out the good old unregistered hypercam for this video. The best way to describe Week 13 would be chaos. The clock struck midnight on the Cinderella teams, the Big 12 is currently on fire, and many playoff hopes were dashed, all in one day. So let us recap Week 13. Okay, so the way this video is going to work, that I will be recapping notable Week 13 top 25 matchups, instead of doing the whole top 25 and the entire schedule, because I would be here all day. I will also be going over some other notable moments that happened in Week 13, and if I missed anything, please let me know down below in the comment section. Alright, so without further ado, let us get into the video. Let us travel to the Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio, and it is home to a top 5 matchup with major playoff implications. The number 2 ranked Buckeyes took on the number 5th ranked Indiana Hoosiers, in one of the key matchups of the week. Wait, did I read that correctly? Yes, your eyes are correct. The Indiana Hoosiers are not only undefeated, but also ranked number 5 in the entire country, thanks to their new first-year head coach, Curt Cignetti. He is only in his first year with the Hoosiers, and he has brought them instant success. He's also brought a new demeanor to the program, showing a little bit of fearlessness. And that fearlessness was shown right away as the Hoosiers went down the field and struck first blood. So after the first Indiana drive, I thought we would be in for a shootout. Sadly, I was very wrong. So after the first drive, the Hoosiers didn't score again until the 4th quarter. After the first quarter, it was all Buckeyes from there. Indiana had their chances, but they couldn't capitalize on them. It also didn't help that the Indiana punter whiffed on his punt, so that set up the Buckeyes with great field position and helped them take the lead before halftime. And after a Caleb Downs 79-yard punt return touchdown, it was all over from there. OSU would go on to dominate the rest of the game. Ohio State is now one game away from clinching their spot in the Big Ten title game, and they have a chance to do that next week in the game. But something tells me Michigan might have something to say about that. For Indiana, this is obviously a tough loss. This was their toughest game all year, and unfortunately, they came up short. Now, the question is, will this affect their playoff chances? Well, as Curt Cignetti put it,
is that a serious question? I'm not even going to answer that one. The answer's so obvious.
Now, if this was a 14 playoff system, I would have said, yeah, absolutely, they are not making the playoffs. But thanks to the new 12-team format and other teams crapping the bed, they still have a chance to get in. But we will see from here.
Oh my God! The dead has risen!
Oh, Ole Miss, why do you do this to us? So heading into this game, this was a pivotal game for Ole Miss to keep pacing the SEC standings, and they were facing off against a Florida team that by all accounts was presumed to be dead a month ago, and with a head coach that most Gator fans wanted gone, and yet somehow, Ole Miss still lost. Remember that quote from Lane Kiffin about how it was an advantage to not make the SEC title game, and how that it would affect your chances of not making the playoffs? Well, there's some good news from Lane Kiffin. You don't have to worry about the conference title game if you don't make it at all. Ole Miss had their chances to win the game, but they had too many miscues during this game, especially towards the end. They had 2 chances to go and tie the game or go for the win in the 4th quarter, but Jackson Dart threw 2 back-breaking interceptions that sealed their fate. And it would have been 3 interceptions if one of them wasn't ruled incomplete. But I also want to give credit to this Florida Gators team and Billy Napier. Despite people calling for his head, the Gators have been able to rally to become bowl eligible with 2 wins over SEC teams with playoff hopes. This 2-game stretch might actually help Billy Napier in the long run with the Gators. And with some promising young talent like DJ Lagway, the Gators' future may not be so dark after all. The SEC has been pretty messy this year, but it does not hold a candle to what has been happening in the Big 12. So, do you know that scene in Community when Donald Glover walked in and everything was going crazy? That scene best describes the current state of the Big 12. I don't think any of us saw this coming at all. When you look at the preseason rankings, it's been extremely different from what we've seen this year. I don't think anyone was expecting BYU to start 9-0 and Arizona State to be good as well. Arizona State was picked to be dead last in the Big 12, and yet, here they are. So this matchup was going to be a key game in the Big 12, and ASU shot out to a 21-3 lead going into halftime. BYU was starting to come back a bit during the third quarter, but ASU answered back with a 61-yard touchdown pass. And the game looked to be over when Jake Retzlaff threw his second pick of the game. And then after some shenanigans with ASU running the clock out and on the 4th and goal throwing the ball out of bounds ending the game, but the ref said there was 1 second left on the clock and had to be played one more down for BYU, even though the fans have already stormed the field. So yeah, it was getting crazy. After a Hail Mary attempt, the game was officially over and Arizona State got the win. And that wasn't the only crazy thing that happened in the Big 12 that day, because down in Missouri, some foolishness was going down. Colorado was taking on Kansas, and despite the effort from Shadir Sanders and Travis Hunter, the Buffs defense could not keep up with the Kansas offense. The Jayhawks scored on nearly every one of their drives, except for the final drive in which they ended the game. The Jayhawks absolutely dominated the time of possession, barely giving Colorado a chance with the ball. So yeah, that was the third ranked team Kansas has taken down this year. You know that meme with the Grim Reaper knocking on the door? Yeah, that's just Kansas this year. So yeah, the Big 12 is currently a mess, and this is the current standing of the Big 12 right now. There is right now a 4-way tie right now. You can't make this up. Now, I could talk about how the Big 12 is pretty much a chaotic mess, but the SEC was having their own chaotic mess as well. Now, I already mentioned Ole Miss's adventures in Gainesville, but Alabama and Texas A&M were having their own bizarre adventures as well. Texas A&M lost in a quadruple overtime to the 4-6 Auburn Tigers, and something tells me Auburn was extra motivated. While Mike Elko was having a press conference, he said this.
I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now and locked in on what we got to get done.
Yeah, it looked like Mike Elko was thinking ahead of their matchup with Texas instead of focusing on Auburn. Now, he just misspoke a bit, but Auburn took that personally, because at one point they had a 21-0 lead in the game. Texas A&M would come back from a 21-0 deficit, and the game would go into 4 overtimes. Now, Auburn would win in the 4th overtime thanks to a field goal and also A&M missing on the 2-point conversion. And to top off the SEC insanity, Alabama lost to Oklahoma 24-3. Listen, I'm not going to cap to you. I was kind of watching the game a bit, and I wasn't paying attention. And then I look over at one point, and now Alabama's losing 24-3. And I'm just thinking, what the hell just happened? Jalen Milroe threw 3 interceptions and had a QBR of 15.4. So yeah, not good. Now Jackson Arnold barely threw the ball. He went 9 for 11 with 68 yards, but he did rush for 131 yards though. And thanks to that win, Oklahoma is now bowl eligible. This is now Alabama's 3rd loss this year, and their playoff chances are probably right now on life support. Now they have losses to Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma. So we'll see what happens, but my chances for them to make it in are pretty low at this point. But I could be wrong. I was wrong last year, so who knows at this point. Okay, so now that I went over that, let's go over some other notable moments in Week 13. Army got steamrolled by the Fighting Irish, SMU clinched the ACC title and are looking like a team we might have to take seriously as we inch closer towards the playoffs. Penn State was able to escape Minnesota with a win, Miami bounced back after losing to Georgia Tech, Nebraska is now bowl eligible for the first time since 2016, Oregon State won the Pac-12, you know, by default since they're only one other team, but whatever. And lastly, Illinois versus Rutgers. Oh my god. Okay, so I really wanted to save this one for last because you need to hear this to believe it. Now, if you didn't watch the ending of the game, here's what happened. So with 14 seconds left, Illinois decided to attempt a 58-yard field goal. The kicker missed the field goal, but Greg Schiano called a timeout before the kick in an attempt to ice the kicker. So after that, Illinois just decided to go for it on 4th and 13, and, well, this happened.
Gap blitz. They bring the house.
the throw. Hit as he throws. It's caught by Bryant. First down. 15, 10, house call.
Oh my god. You can get rid of the Big Ten West, but the spirit will never die. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like this new format I tried doing. You know, the face cam is something new I'm trying for this channel particularly. We'll see how long this goes. I hope you guys like it. So anyway, leave a like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. You can check another one of my 2 videos on the screen right here. But anyway guys, that will be all. I am OneDubs. Thanks for stopping by.